Mr. President.
Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that further proceedings under the roll call be dispensed with and the Sergeant at Arms be instructed to bring in the absent members.
To that motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the motion does prevail. The Secretary will close the roll. Members, please stand for the prayer. Today's chaplain is Pastor Rick Henderson of Autumn Ridge Church in Rochester. And following the prayer, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please pray with me. God, you are good and kind and just. You are the mind that sits behind the mysteries of the universe. You are the artist who infuses beauty in our world. And you are the one who brings order to chaos, and you are the one who tells your people to pray for and honor our government leaders. God, I want to thank you for the women and the men who have said no to other ventures so that they could say yes to serving the people of our state. And on their behalf, in front of you, I want to ask you to bless them. Would you bless them with dear friends who want good for them and not anything from them? Would you bless them with partnerships and colleagues who energize them and refine them and who bring out the best in them? Would you bless them with the gifts of unexpected joys and enduring courage when challenges are difficult? Would you bless this body with wisdom and grant its members with the peace of happy homes? God, you are good and just and kind. Thank you for listening intently to our prayers. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Secretary will take the roll.
Senators Abler, Anderson, Bach, Benson, Bigham, Carlson, Chamberlain, Champion, Clausen, Coleman, Swazinski, Dames, Dibble, Dornick, Draheim, Duckworth, Dietzick, Eaton, Eichhorn, Eakin, Fateh, Friends, Gazelka, Goggin, Herr, Hoffman, Housley, Howe, Ingebrigtsen, Isaacson, Jasinski, Johnson, Stewart, Kent, Kiffmeyer, Klein, Coran, Kunish, Lang, Latz, Limmer, Lopez, Franzen, Marty, Matthews, McEwen, Miller, Murphy, Nelson, Newman, Newton, Osmic, Pappas, Port, Pratt, Putnam, Rarick, Rest, Rosen, Rude, Senjum, Thomasoni, Torres, Ray, Utke, Weber, Westrom, Uyghur, Wickland.
Pursuant to Rule 14.1, the following members intend to vote under Rule 40.7. Senators Anderson, Chamberlain, Eakin, Lang, Newman, Thomasoni, and Wickland. A quorum is present. Beginning on the third order of business, messages from the House. The Secretary will read the message.
Mr. President, I have the honor to announce the passage by the House of the following Senate file as amended by the House, in which the amendments, the concurrence of the Senate is respectfully requested. Senate file number 3540, a bill for an act relating to retirement. Senate file number 3540 is herewith returned to the Senate. Patrick D. Murphy, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives.
Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate concur in the amendments by the House to Senate File 3540 and that the bill be placed on its repassage as amended.
To that motion, Senator Rosen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, this is the omnibus pension policy bill, and it passed off the Senate floor, I believe 66 to nothing. It was unanimous. And there's two changes that have come back that the House made an adjustment that we are accepting. One is on the unclassified plan. They would not accept that language for the unclassified. And we did accept some language from the House that allows the teachers from out of state to buy their annuities ongoing. And I wish I knew a little bit more about that provision, but I don't. But it's a good piece. It's been approved by TRA and all the board members. And with that, I would ask you for your support on this concurrence.
For the discussion, Senator Pappas.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Senator Rosen, maybe we could get some more that's not it. Some more information. I did have a question about that annuity issue. And I'm just wondering, maybe there's someone here from the staff that could help us. And it says annuity reserves. When a participant attains at least age 55, terminates from covered service, and applies for a retirement annuity, blah, blah, blah. I can bring it over to you to see if it looks familiar to you. Yeah, was this a new piece? That's our question. I'm asking if that is.
Senator Pappas.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Just a little bit offline, we just wanted to clarify if that new piece was something we were talking about. So apparently it is. So members, it's been a pleasure to work with Senator Rosen on this bill, and members of the Pension Commission. We are a role model, we think, for the entire legislature because of how we work together with the stakeholders, have open hearings, and have passed bipartisan legislation. Please support the bill.
To the motion to concur, Senator Lopez Franzen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Rosen, if she would yield for a question.
She will yield. Senator Lopez Franzen.
And also just to know the update of a grandfather clause for the MSRS program. Is there such a provision in this bill, in this agreement?
Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, thank you, Senator Lopez Franzen. That was in the Senate provision as it passed off. It was not accepted by the House.
Further discussion to the motion to concur, Senator Lopez Franzen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Rosen, if she would continue to yield and for a question.
She will. Senator Lopez Franzen.
And what is the nature of that pushback from the House? Do we know why that was not accepted?
Senator Rosen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Senator Lopez Franzen, thank you for the question. There was an extension on that provision last year that was very difficult to get. And there was just some discomfort from the House members as far as continuing to extend that provision for the unclassified members. And so there's only so much political capital I'll have.
Further discussion? Senator Rosen renews her motion to concur. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the motion does prevail. Secretary will give the bill its third reading.
Senate File Number 3540, a bill for an act relating to retirement.
Third reading. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the Secretary will take the roll on final passage of Senate File 3540. I call on Senator Jasinski to report members voting under Rule 40.7. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Anderson votes aye.
Anderson votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Chamberlain votes aye.
Chamberlain votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Lang votes aye.
Lang votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Senator Newman votes aye.
Newman votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
And thank you, Mr. President. Senator Thomasoni votes aye.
Thomasoni votes aye. Calling Senator Kunish to report members voting under Rule 40.7. Senator Kunish.
Mr. President, Senator Wicklund votes aye.
Wicklund votes aye. Senator Kunish.
Senator Eakin votes aye.
Eakin votes aye. Senator Kunish.
Senator Port votes aye.
Port votes aye. Senator Kunish.
Senator McEwen votes aye.
McEwen votes aye. Senator Kunish.
Senator Fateh votes aye.
Fateh votes aye. Senator Kunish.
And Senator Champion votes aye.
Champion votes aye. Senator Jasinski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator Ingebrigtsen votes aye.
Ingebrigtsen votes aye. All members having voted with the desire to vote, the Secretary will close the roll. There being 63 ayes and no nays, Senate File 3540 does pass as amended by the House and its title agreed to. Moving on, the Secretary will read the next message.
Mr. President, I have the honor to announce the passage by the House of the following House file herewith transmitted, House File Number 4030. Patrick D. Murphy, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives.
No action is required. Moving to the fourth order of business, first reading of House bills. The House file has been given its first reading and referred as indicated. Moving to the ninth order of business, Senate File Resolution 141 is referred to the Committee on Rules of Administration. Senator Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm going to move that we recess to the call of the President. We expect it to take anywhere from 45 minutes to potentially up to an hour. And Republicans, we will caucus upstairs in 303.
To that motion, all those in favor of the motion to recess signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the motion does prevail. The Senate is in recess.